poziția frumos.
Largă pe loc, Eva.
Good evening to all of you. I am glad to meet you today here in Bucharest. We are here for a special event. The Ministers of Defense from 28 European Union member states will be here today to discuss the most pressing security and defense issues in European agenda. As you know, this is the first event at ministerial level hosted by Romania under the aegis of Romanian presidency of the Council. We hope we will have fruitful and, of course, meaningful discussions. The High Representative Federica Mogherini will be chairing this meeting. We will also have with us NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg and United Nations Under Secretary General for Peace Operation Jean-Pierre Lacroix. As you know, in the preparation for the presidency, we indicated on several occasions that common security and defense policy should stay central on the European agenda during, of course, our mandate. This is imperative given the new reality in the European neighborhood and the challenges we have been facing in the last couple of years. We will take stock of what has been done in the last 2.5 years since the launch of the European Union global strategy, and will discuss what could be done more to enhance European Union role on security and defense. We will also assess tomorrow the state of play as regards the initiatives European Union put forward in the area of this defense. We're talking about PESCO, CARD, EDF, European Defence Fund. We'll be looking at the options to consolidate those initiatives and increase their coherence. This session will give us the chance to express views on the importance of European NATO cooperation, where we have a particular interest to see things moving forward. This is a priority for our presidency, and we will be supporting areas of work such as hybrid, cyber, military mobility, which are relevant for both organizations and offer room for further substantiation. In the same context, we will assess the impact of innovation and new technologies on defense and look at how we can benefit of the opportunities generated by these trends. The major challenge will be to see how can we integrate the technological advance that we see in the civilian field in our work on defense to ensure European Union remains relevant in this domain. To conclude, the presidency of European Union Council brings along major responsibilities for Minister of Defense. We'll make every effort to ensure these responsibilities and successfully fulfilled. We are at the beginning of our mandate, and this meeting today offers the opportunity to set the tone for the upcoming work. We are confident it will be a fruitful meeting and fruitful and successful meeting. Thank you.
tirul a trecut de piața Victoriei la acest moment. Imnurile? Mergem la steag, trecem garda, bună seara și gata. Se contați pe baie?
Totdeauna, să nu mai spună totdeauna.
Vrei să nu vorbiți?
Trage un pic, nu-i trage mie, nu mă lăsa întins pe mine, iar.
Da.
Constituită în cinstea sosirii dumneavoastră, vă prezintă onor. Sunt comandantul gărzii, capitan Stan.
Bună seara! Buonasera, good evening. It is a pleasure for me to be here, my friend, the Defense Minister, for 3 days of informal meetings of the ministers, first of the Defense and then of Foreign Affairs of the European Union member states under the Romanian presidency. And it is a pleasure to start the year under Romanian presidency with many important discussions we will have. With the defense ministers, we will start tonight already with our two main partners, NATO and the UN. The NATO Secretary General will join us in a few moments, and the UN Under Secretary General they will be both together with us at dinner discussing our common work, in particular in the field of women, peace and security. But more in general, we'll discuss our very close partnership, our close relationship. And let me say in particular, I am very grateful to the NATO Secretary General for his presence here tonight. Our partnership with NATO is key, has been strengthened over these last years. And the fact that we have managed to strengthen the European defense and at the same time strengthen EU-NATO cooperation is really something that makes me proud. And I want to thank him for his personal contribution to his work. Tomorrow morning with the defense ministers, we'll discuss our work on the European Union defense, the way forward in different fields, from our permanent structure cooperation, the projects, also the financing of our ambitions on security and defense, and our operations. So I would like also to thank our Romanian friends and the Minister in particular for a very warm hospitality, for welcoming us in beautiful Bucharest, still enlightened with festive lights. And I think this will give the ministers an excellent atmosphere for good discussions and for making progress under the Romanian presidency on our work on defense. Thank you very much. Sorry? You know that Europe has benefited from the INF Treaty, even if we were not, and we are not part of it. None of the member states is part of it. But Europe has benefited from it enormously in these last decades. We continue to hope that there is a way to maintain it and to fully implement it. And the two things should go hand in hand. For sure, we will continue discussing this also with Secretary General Stoltenberg, as we have done during the NATO ministerial meetings in the last months. Thank you.
General. stradă, joase să astea sunt foarte influența mea.
Știu, dar n-ai și să urmărești și să-l...
blocați și stau. Nu mai vrea să meargă.
presa, nu? Vă rog să coboare prima dată. Așteptăm domnul. Imediat coboare.
Good evening. First of all, Minister Lesch, it's a great pleasure to be back here in Bucharest, and I'm looking forward to meet with the EU defense ministers. I meet regularly with the EU defense ministers, and High Representative Mogherini regularly meets with foreign and defense ministers in NATO, and I think that reflects the very strong cooperation and close cooperation between NATO and the European Union. And we have been able to strengthen the cooperation between EU and NATO over the last years, responding to a more demanding and challenging security environment. It is even more important that EU and NATO work closely together. We work together on issues like cyber, like hybrid threats, in the maritime domain. We have coordinated and parallel exercises, and we also work on issues related to women, peace and security. And tonight we will discuss the issues related to women, peace and security, and this is important for EU, it's important for NATO, and it's important for our joint efforts. NATO is responding to a more challenging security environment also by adapting our forces, our structure. Romania is very much part of that. I welcome the strong efforts of Romania to strengthen the alliance, and we're also investing more in defense. Since 2016, NATO allies across Europe and Canada have increased defense spending by $41 billion, and by the end of 2020, by the end of next year, I expect this figure to rise to $100 billion. So this is showing the commitment of all NATO allies in the strength of our alliance and the importance of strengthening our collective defense. And with that, I'm ready to take any questions if there are questions. We continue to call on Russia to preserve the INF treaty because Russia is responsible for putting the treaty in jeopardy. Russia has developed and deployed new intermediate range missiles for some years now. This is a clear violation of the INF treaty, and at the NATO foreign ministerial meeting in December, the United States made it clear that they will start a withdrawal process from the treaty within a 60-day period if Russia doesn't come back into compliance. All NATO allies agree that it is important that Russia comes back into compliance in a transparent, verifiable way. This is urgent because the 60-day period will end this weekend. And if Russia doesn't come back into compliance, then we have to be prepared for a world without the INF Treaty and with more Russian missiles violating the treaty. These missiles are hard to detect, they are mobile, they are nuclear capable, they can reach European cities, and therefore this is something which is of great concern, and it undermines a cornerstone of European security, the INF Treaty. We welcome EU efforts on defense, and I have stated that again and again, that for NATO it's a good thing that Europe, the European Union, do more together when it comes to defense, because we believe that can develop new capabilities, increase defense spending, and also address the fragmentation of the European defense industry. At the same time, it is of course important that the EU efforts on defense doesn't compete with NATO but complement NATO. And this has been stated clearly from European leaders again and again, because there is no way that EU can substitute NATO. After Brexit, 80% of NATO's defense expenditure will come from non-EU NATO allies. And 3 of the 4 battle groups we are deployed in the eastern part of the alliance will be led by non-EU NATO allies. And we also have to understand that European unity is important, but European unity cannot substitute for transatlantic unity. 2 world wars and the Cold War taught us that North America and Europe has to stand together. And that's the main task of NATO, is to make sure that Europe and North America stand together, addressing a lot of challenges in the security environment. Thank you. Thank you.
Cina. Vreau una acum. Scuze.
Suntem pe WhatsApp.
You are Alice.
Suntem gata să intri pe aia cu...
La cap.
La conferință a zis că a rămas cine vrea să rămână, dar la astea 3 evenimente trebuie să fie.
Că dimineață dar nu mai vorbesc ăștia, vorbesc miniștrii aia care vor. Miniștrii 27.
careva în zonă, să te ia. Sau te duci direct acasă.